Okay, so I may have done something a little crazy, but I was trying to find out if there was a way for me to make my own mystery box, buying product, and returning the stuff I didn't want. And I think I may have figured out a way, and I thought I would share. This is the first one of, I think there's gonna be 4 shipments. But basically, I'm a reseller on Poshmark and eBay. This is my full-time job. I need product to sell, and I'm still selling stuff. And so I want to be able to replenish that stuff that's selling with new inventory. And yes, I'm getting free stuff from friends. I'm finding stuff in my own home, and that is all great and dandy, but there's nothing quite like actually getting kind of fresh product, and especially if you can pick it. Now, I know there's a lot of people who are explaining different ways to do like online retail arbitrage and, finding ways to source online. I'm very impatient. I do not enjoy online arbitrage. I don't even really like retail arbitrage because I think one of the things that I just don't have the patience, and it requires a lot of patience. I would much rather go to a thrift store where I have confidence that 90% of the time I'm going to be able to get X amount of items that are going to sell for X amount of dollars. And that is just what my comfort level and what my enjoyment is with my job. However, I've had to get a little creative, and I probably a year ago followed a lot of people who jumped on the you can sell things on ThreadUp. And although some people seem to have great success with it, I did not have good success with it. I did have one really good sale that was a dress, a really rare designer, and I got 90% of, I think, what they sold it for, and it was, a few $100s or $400 or something like that. But most of the stuff, I barely got any return. Now, you don't have to do the photos, you don't have to do the shipping, you don't have to do the customer service, all of that kind of stuff. So there is something to be said for people who have figured out the system. That also requires patience, and I just don't have much of it. So I did not enjoy selling on ThreadUp. I have not done it in a long time. But when I did it, one of the flaws that I found was there were a couple of items that they accepted to sell of mine. And when they put them in the ThreadUp categories, they ended up putting them under a category called unbranded. And I was frustrated. I reached out to ThreadUp. I was like, what is this? I knew what they were. They were clearly marked. They were not unbranded. And so they fixed them, but it just made me think recently, are there decent items that are labeled under ThreadUp as unbranded when they actually have brands potentially? And you just don't know because they only provide, I think, 2 photos. It's very hard to really grasp what something is. I remember someone saying that they had sold a pair of designer shoes and they found them on ThreadUp unbranded one time, and so they snatched them because they knew that specific style. But again, that just requires a lot of time, and I just don't have the patience for it. But one thing I did think of was, what if I went and picked things based off of size and style, because you can see at least the style, you can see the size. And what if I made my own mystery box? And if I pick items that are returnable, that are not the final sale, then I can return the items that maybe were duds and sell the ones that maybe are worth something. So I don't necessarily think this is something that I'm going to constantly repeat, but I did place one order myself, and I had a coupon code that was emailed to me a long time ago. And my mom had a coupon code, and so I asked her if she could do an order. So this is part 1 of the order that I did. Because these items, you're selecting them, they're coming from different warehouses on ThreadUp. And so these are the items that came from the first or the closest warehouse to me. And so this is part 1, I'll do part 2, part 3, and part 4 of the remaining boxes. And really, ultimately, this is supposed to give you an idea of if this is a sourcing opportunity for people. Oh my gosh, my dog. Dog, did you just have a bone? I know, I'm talking to the camera again. So, she's also used to having that window open, but there was kind of a glare, so I closed it. Anyways, so I have a box here. The unfortunate thing was I filmed this outside yesterday and there was a breeze. And when I went to go edit tonight, which is what I was about to upload it so I could get it scheduled for tomorrow, there was this really annoying breeze. And so I decided, okay, I'll refilm. I have seen the items. I can say that there are quite a few that are going to be sent back, and yeah. So I'll just show you what I got in here. But if you aren't subscribed, definitely consider hitting the subscribe button down below. And if you like this video and just the series that I'm going to do, hit the thumbs up, let me know. I really appreciate it. So I can already tell you from this first box, spoiler, I don't think that this is a good way of doing things. Now, keep in mind, when I place my order, when you put something in your cart on ThredUp, there is a little clock that pops up and it says, this will be in your cart for 20 something odd minutes. And all of a sudden that creates a sense of urgency. Now I know from a marketing perspective or from a sales perspective, that sense of urgency is supposed to kind of prevent the person from kind of second guessing or waiting too long and kind of going through the sale a little bit quicker than maybe if they didn't have that clock. So I understand the psychology behind it, but it worked on me. It kind of just created this element of stress. And also it was just an experiment. So there were a couple things I purchased that were not final sale, but I figured they were styles that probably I would like. And so I just I wanted a wide variety of stuff. I also, one of the things on ThredUp, they have some little things. One of them is called Rare Find. And sometimes Rare Find, well, with unbranded, I didn't know what it meant, but with other designers and stuff, it could just be something with a little bit more, I don't know how they select it or if it's just randomized that they put that there. But I also selected some stuff that maybe I wouldn't pick out for style, but I picked up because it had that Rare Find on there to see if it had any indication that maybe it was worth something. One thing to note, it took me 20 minutes to place an order for 15 items. And I think it was about the same for my mom. We were both filtering unbranded and low to high, and we were going in different sections. So for me, I can get more bang for my buck with outerwear, even though it's not outerwear coming up. It will be in 6 months, people will be shopping for it again. So if I could get a $5 or $6 item that was outerwear versus a $5 or $6 item that was a tank top or a t-shirt, there might be more chance that it would bring in a little bit more. And I didn't do any jeans or shorts because it's less of a style. Yes, there are styles with jeans and shorts and stuff, but I really just kind of thought colorful, easy to photograph, and those just aren't, that's just not my favorite thing in general. So I decided to pass on those. So I focused on dresses, tops, short sleeve. Actually, I don't remember how they divided it up, but tops, sweaters, outerwear, and dresses, I think were the 4 categories I focused on. And again, in 20 minutes, I was able to pick out 15 items. In total, I did have a $10 credit on ThredUp from someone using my link. And I also had, I think that was it. I also had the coupon code, which was about 30% off. So I spent $84. If you add the $94 or the $10, it would bring it up to $94 if you didn't have that credit that I had. And if you were able to use a coupon code. And if you weren't able to use the 30% coupon code, they usually have codes on their site, or you can try some, searching on Google. But yeah, so it brought everything down to about $5.50 per item. And my plan is to either resell the items, maybe keep an item or two, because there were some that I was like, I could wear it, whatever, or return it. So yeah, let's just jump right in. Okay, so this is only half of my order, and I folded everything back up, but I will say I will say this. I've never purchased anything off of ThredUp. I've only purchased rescue boxes, and rescue boxes, if something's a little worn or has some pilling, you're like, okay, it makes sense. It's a rescue box. I'm really quite surprised at the condition of these items. I understand that they are thrifted items, or they are used clothing items, and some of those condition issues are just going to happen. But there are some items in here I wouldn't even list just due to the condition. So I'm very surprised that ThredUp took a lot of this. Because I'll show you. So, oh man, my nose is itching. Okay. So this first item is something I'm going to return, even though it does have a brand. It just is not obvious, or the person didn't think it was obvious. It does have a size 10. If you know anything about brands, you probably already recognize that. But under this, it says Divided, which is the H&M brand. This is just a black classic little lightweight pea coat. And yeah, I couldn't see the tag with, you know, I couldn't see much. So I was just picking it up based off of its classic. I also couldn't see the material tag. They didn't have the material elements listed like they do on some of their stuff. So I was just going off of style. And yeah, I will not be keeping this. I will be returning this because it is what it is. All right, this next item also has a brand. So again, all of these were under unbranded. This is Democracy, which I'm actually not sure where they sell it. I think I picked this up when I was a new reseller, and I think I did sell it at least once, but I do not pick this brand up. This is a little cardigan. It's lightweight. It's got these pockets. It's got slits on each side. It's kind of a 3/4 length sleeve. And then it has this little design on the back. I thought this was cute that I might like. I think I actually might keep it. I wouldn't be able to really make any profit off of this because I'm sure at best, if I were able to sell this, at best I might be able to get, you know, $10. Also, I think this had, yeah, so this also had a snag. So condition wise, it has some pilling. It has this snag that was not listed. So again, this is kind of goes back to I wouldn't pick this up if it were brand new, just because it doesn't have a strong resale value. If this were in great condition, I might be able to get $10 for it after fees. It would bring it back down to approximately what I paid, which was about that $5.50 mark. So I will either be keeping this, I'll try it on because I just think it's a really nice lightweight cardigan, or I'll return it. So, but it did have a brand. All right, this is one item that I paid up a little bit for. So I think this was, with the discounts and everything, it still came out to $12 or $13. But I picked this up based off of style. I absolutely loved the colors. Little dress. I pulled this out of the box and it feels so cheap. It feels like plastic. I mean, some form of plastic. It just has a tag like that. There is no material tag. So I'm guessing that this is just from some kind of online cheap brand. Yeah, that was not originally anything. So I will be returning this again, especially since I did kind of pay up for this one just based off of style, but on the website it looked adorable. It feels so cheap. So, all right. I'm going in order and I didn't put it in any particular order. My favorite item is coming up, but this one is also, I think this was one of the ones that said rare fine, and it was kind of a classic item as well. So I thought, okay, maybe it's, you know, some designer item and they just don't know about it. This one, I can't remember if this one, yeah. So this doesn't have any material tag. It does have an XL right here. So I'm not sure why they put rare fine on this because there's nothing rare about it. It's just kind of a ribbed 3/4 length sleeve sweater, and yeah. So that was a bust, and no brand. So that is 2 with no brand. Yeah, okay, this is the third one with no brand. Oh, well, I'm going in a different order. This is the third one with no brand. I picked this up because I thought it would look cute on the mannequin. I thought it was, okay, that's kind of an unusual style. Maybe that'll be something. Again, it has this large, and everything I got was large or extra large because I thought at the very least maybe I could wear it, and this will be returned just because there's no brand, there's no material tag. Okay, here's what I was hoping for with this next item, that maybe, just maybe, there would be a gem or two. Now, this one I picked up because it seemed a little unusual in style. It was not the best photos, but it said European sizing. And it also did have the material on this one. So many of these did not have the material listed. This one had a silk cotton. I think it was silk and cotton. So this is a lightweight little full zip kind of jacket. It's got short sleeves and it has this hood that's this fun pop of color. The hood is removable. It's got these little things. And all I can show you on all the hardware, if you can see, it says Prada on all the hardware. It says it on the zipper pull, which these are always a little hard to see. And it actually does have, and I have picked up Prada with this same type of material tag. So it's size 44 and it is silk cotton combo, made in Italy. And then it also had Prada on the little pull in here, which is inside the jacket. So this is kind of what I was hoping for, that maybe there are those gems that are on unbranded that happened to some of the stuff that ThredUp ended up taking from me a year ago. So I will be keeping this to resell because I know I can get a decent return on it, and it seems to be in pretty good, decent condition. I will get it under the lights, but yeah. So this was like the one, oh my gosh moment was there's Prada, and this was just a complete random mix of things that I did not know. So yeah, and that did not say rare find. So, so odd. Okay, so this is a little black and gold and white striped. I thought it was just kind of classic. Again, I was kind of going with the classic stuff. This is a brand called 6x6. I think it's probably just like a boutique brand or something, not worth much. So I will probably be returning this. And I haven't looked up comps for anything because I just kind of put it all in the box. This was something that also said rare find. And I'm thinking, it's a white sweatshirt. It's a white sweatshirt. What in the world? I don't even know. This also just has the large, this has a large, extra large with no material tag. So yeah, I'll be returning that. I don't, and this one also, just part of the condition, this has pilling all over it. I'm not sure if it's going to pick up, but what? Like, I don't get, how did they accept this? That's my question. Okay, last item, and this is only half of the first order. This is a jacket, and I did, when it was taking photos, I saw this, and I kind of was like, it looked like it was two parts over here. It had no material part of it, and this is the only one actually that has a, which is ironic, it has a ThredUp tag. None of them had a ThredUp tag, which to return stuff, it says you need the original ThredUp tag. So I'm gonna be contacting them to say, no, only one of them did. Also, even if this didn't have this tag, this is mismarked. So this says large like new on this tag, but down here, it actually says medium on the material tag. Now this one does have an RN number. I didn't look it up. This is just a polyester jacket. It's not the right season. It doesn't feel like it's great quality. It doesn't have any markings on any of the buttons or anything. So I will be returning this, but I thought that was really interesting that they also had the wrong size on this one. So anyways, it's an experiment that's ongoing. I think if I were to do it again, I would probably spend more time on trying to find items that are maybe European sizing, or yeah, I don't know. And I mean, there are ways I'm sure that you could, like my friend, probably 9 months ago, when she was saying that she had bought these designer shoes for a steal on the unbranded on ThredUp, she had sold that same type. So like if you went through all of the unbranded, you could probably find some stuff that are, you know, really great gems, or you've sold before, or you just recognize certain things. I, again, just don't have too much of the patience. I thought it would be fun to have a mystery box where I could return the items that I didn't end up wanting to keep to resell. And so this was just kind of that experiment. But anyways, hit the thumbs up. There will be, I think the rest of the boxes are coming next week. I ordered these about a week and a half ago. And this first box I got at my box about 3 or 4 days ago, but I don't check my box very often just due to all the circumstances. So when I was able to finally go and get this yesterday, yeah, that's where we're at. So anyways, hit the thumbs up. I'll see you again in another video. Bye.